today I will be giving you 5 tips you should know when preparing for your first period. When I got my first period, the only thing I knew is that I am supposed to get it. But apart from that, I never really have that adult to really guide me along my menstrual cycle, along my first period. So if you see me looking down, just know that I have my notes written down. So the first thing I wrote down is talk to someone you trust about your period. This could be a parent, an older sibling. So you can go ahead and talk to them, let them know that you got your first period. If you really want to know about the period cycle, you can just go ahead and talk to them, ask them, because they've been through the cycle, maybe they're still on the cycle, because you want to be prepared when you experience that for the first time, because they will provide the support and guidance you need. Or you can come to me and talk to me. I'm always free to talk to. Well, not free, but you can talk to me because I'm experiencing it. So you can always leave me a message and let me know that you're scared of your first menstrual cycle, you haven't seen your first period, and you just want somebody to talk to. But I'm always here to talk to. The second tip is keep track of your menstrual cycle. This is something I didn't know from the start, but as I'm getting older, I would want to know every single thing about period. I am at the stage of seeing my period every month, so this is something I would want to study. It is good to keep track of your menstrual cycle, so when you get your first period, you would know, or let's say you end up seeing your period for the first time, you would want to go ahead and write down like the first day you got your period and when it ended. You can know when your next period is coming. Or let's say you maybe went to see your doctor, and you know the first question they will always ask, or the fourth question they'll always ask is, when last you saw your period? So you want to know when you saw your period, because this is a very important question, because without you knowing when you get in your next period, you would be kind of lost. Let's say you have to go to a family reunion, or let's say you're going out of the country and you have no clue when your next period is coming, you're not prepared. Let's say you don't even have your period kits with you. That could be a problem. So it's always good to keep track of your menstrual cycle. You can go ahead and mark it down on a calendar. You can go ahead and mark it down on, maybe you have a book for like period to mark down the date when it's coming and when it's ending. Or you can go ahead and download an app, like a period app. I remember downloading period apps, but I never really get the one for me. So what I'm doing now is marking down on my calendar every time that I get my period, or every time it ends, so I can always know that when my next period is coming. So it's very important to mark down the dates you get your period and when it's ending. Or you can just write down the date it comes. Yeah. Plan ahead. Think about where you will be when you get your first period, how you will handle the fact that you got your period. Because let's say you end up getting your period at school. What are you going to do if you don't have any pad on you? Are you going to go ahead and ask your teacher, or are you going to go to a counselor to ask her for a pad? Let's say she doesn't have a pad on her. What are you going to do? Because you have to be thinking of all that, because it is very important to have like pads on you. Because if you don't have any pad on you and you maybe say, let me go ahead and ask a friend, and you go ahead and ask a friend, that friend doesn't have any pad on her, this could be really bad for you. So you have to think of all the bad situations, what can go wrong without you having your pads on you. I know it's your first time and maybe you have no one in the household to help you. Well, I'm here to help you. That's why I'm making this video, so you don't have to go through what most people really go through when they experience a first cycle, a first period. So it's good to have pads on you, and it's good to make your own period kits. Or let's say, for instance, you're out with some friends and you end up feeling something dropping, because that's what we all feel, like it's dropping. You're realizing you never felt that before, but you know your period might end up coming, your period might come, and you end up going to a public washroom, and you end up seeing a dark spot, like a brownish spot, and you just know, my goodness, my period is coming, and you don't have any pads with you. And you maybe ask some girls here, maybe ask the girls you there with for a pad, and what if they don't have a pad on them? You'll be like stuck in that. So always have a period kit. Try your best to make a period kit. At least if you cannot afford to make a period kit, at least pack 2 pads with you, or 1. Yes, because when you pack that one pad could last you until you reach at your home to change again. Okay, so I went to get my pads. This is how the stay-free pad looks. I don't really have much period supplies with me. I have to go period shopping, but this is all what I have for now. I am supposed to have maybe 4 more pads with me, but this is what I took to show you what the stay-free pad looks like. So yes, this is how it looks. Like the stay-free pad, it's really thick. Most pads is like thin, but the stay-free is really thick and it's absorbed a lot of blood. So you can go ahead and purchase the stay-free pads. And what you really need before you get your period, for you not to stain your underwear, let's say you at school, or like I said, if you're on a road trip and you cannot stop until you reach the gas station, or until you reach maybe the next stop. It's good to have some panty shields. This is the Carefree panty shield that I'm using. This is like the only brand I can really use, because most brands, like, it has like a funny smell, and I cannot leave it long on me for like 5 minutes, because the smell of the panty shield is not something I can really take. So you might maybe experience the same thing with me, but it's good to try out different panty shields to see which one works well for you. But this is the brand that works really well for me, so you might maybe experience the same thing with me, or you might experience something different. And the last tip is take care of yourself when you're on your period. When I had my period, I didn't really know much about taking care of myself. I won't be like, I'm being totally honest. I knew I had to change every time my pad got heavy, like every time it was full I had to change. I was bathing twice a day when I was on my period. Yeah, I was bathing twice a day. To tell you the truth, I was really taking care of myself. So go back to thinking of when I had my first period, I was bathing twice a day. I was changing my pad, so yeah, I was taking care of myself. So yes, taking care of yourself during your period, it is important to stay hydrated. Oh, okay, I'm going back to taking care of myself. I wasn't staying hydrated at all. Like, guys, if you're not staying hydrated on your period, trust me, you cannot get out of bed. You won't be able to stand for long, because this is what I was experiencing. Like, I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't even stand up for long, because like I feel like I'm ready to fall down, because I cannot like take the pain. I was feeling weak all the time. So period, like our menstrual cycle, our period cycle is something we would have to like really be careful of, because you can end up fainting because of not staying hydrated. So drink plenty of water, not juice but water. Get enough rest, because without getting rest, you would just like see you're ready to fall down, and you don't want that. So rest yourself, because our period is meant to be sleeping. Like, we're supposed to be sleeping on our period. Maybe the first 2 days. The first 2 days I normally sleep. I sleep a lot, and maybe the third day I sometimes get some rest. It depends on my schedule. If I have something planned for the day, it depends. I sometimes get rest like maybe the first 2 to 3 days, or sometimes like the first 1-2 days, like I normally get my rest, or sometimes the first day, or it depends on your cycle. Most cycles are not the same. Most cycles you will have pain throughout the entire period cycle, or sometimes you just have pain for the first 1 to 3 days, or sometimes the first 1-2 days. It depends. Every time your menstrual cycle comes, it's not the same. It could never be the same because it's never the same for me. So yes. Clothes that you can feel nice in, you can just stay in bed. This shirt I have on, this top I have on, like, it's not tight. Yeah, it's not tight. Everyone experience with their first period is not the same. So if you hear like people saying that they experience that on their period, or somebody else said they experienced that on their period and yours doesn't match up to theirs, don't feel down, don't feel bad, because not everybody's cycle is the same. Everybody's cycle is just totally different. So you don't have nothing to worry about. You don't have to feel down because you heard your sister said like she's having really bad pains and you not really having bad pains. So you may be thinking of, oh my god, what is wrong with me? Is something wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. You're totally fine. You might not have period pains, bad period pains this month, but trust me, next month you will have something totally different. So yes, I really hope for your first period, when you experience your first period, these tips will help you. And if it do, please let me know down in the comment section. Please let me know your story about your first menstrual cycle. If you experiencing period, let me know when is your next cycle. Let me know how you're coping with your period, how you're dealing with it, what you're doing to help with the pains. And yes, I really hope you found value in this video. If you did, please give it a like and a comment, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.